How you doing today? Everybody good? A beautiful morning here in Spokane, Washington. It is snowy and icy, like many of you pointed out. You asked, is it still snowy there? Is it still icy? Yes, you can play hockey in the streets. You can go ice skating in the streets. But that will only last for a little while. It's starting to melt down, and pretty soon it's going to be sunshiny and beautiful here. It's a great city to live in. Love living here. So many wonderful people in the chat. Let me take a look over here and see who is in the chat with us. We have Rosa, of course, and Vivek, and Sarbajit, and the French Leo's here. Diri is here. Sarah, hello, how are you? Good to have you. Alejandra in warm location that I wish I were in myself right now. I wish it was nice and sunny here and I could go swimming maybe outside. That would be good. Let's see. Okay, Ko says it's the first time here. Ko, I thought you'd been here before. So if you haven't been to this class before, welcome. Happy to have you. Maybe it was a different Ko that we had. And Giannis, hello, how are you? And Luca, hi Luca. Let's see who else is here. Oh, Melinda's here. Anyway, hello to everybody. We are going to go over a Smrt Live class today on listening exercises. So many students have said, I want practice listening and I want practice with pronunciation. Well, pronunciation, we can practice one-on-one if you're a premium subscriber. Listening is a key skill in being able to speak correctly also though. So what you hear from native speakers, like my voice, my pronunciation, you want to mimic back. You want to practice back. So pretend you're me. I mean, make the sounds that I make when I pronounce words. You're not going to sound exactly like me, and that's okay, but the way that I pronounce words is a very native, natural way of pronunciation. So in English for academic purposes, which is this class here that you're in, our goal is to make sure that you are functioning at a native speaker level, right? English is my first language. I grew up from a baby to an adult learning English. So I learned it naturally, and then I went to school and I learned why I learned it naturally. I learned all the phonetics and the grammar and linguistic terms so that I could teach someone who didn't grow up learning English how to speak English, read English, write in English. So that's my goal. That's what class we're in, is English for academic purposes. You are in a Smrt Live class, smartenglish.com/live/live. That can give you a list of our classes. I will put that in the chat. I will also make a page of notes here in my Google Drive because that was a request by a student. They asked if I would take notes as we go. I realized that the chat doesn't always transfer over, so yeah, absolutely, I'm happy to do that. So good suggestion. Thank you for that. Here, I'm just bringing up our notes for the class, and then I will bring that up on the screen so that you can see the address to go to. Just checking the chat questions here. I'm in university. I have 1 hour before your seminar starts. Okay, Shivan, we'll still get some practice in before your class starts. All right. We have an Australian, maybe? Oh, I don't know. Vivek likes my shirt. You want to take my shirt for a year? That's a really odd request, Vivek. But thank you. I'm glad you like my shirt. That's nice. Okay. It's okay to have an accent. Nora asks a good question. Guys, do you think it's okay to have an accent? Yeah, definitely. 99% of the time it's okay to have an accent. People love accents. Okay, Sarbajit, let's talk about that after class, or just email Zach. We'll fix it, okay? We'll get a solution for you. Don't worry about that. Sarbajit has a thing outside of class that we're working on, helping him out because he's a premium subscriber. And a great guy, really smart. Funny, too. Sarbajit, I like your jokes, man. You crack me up. Okay, so Nora, Luca agrees, says, yes, it's okay to have an accent. Pablo from Mexico, what's up, man? I love Mexico. Your food's awesome. I spent some time in Mexico, and I love Mexican food. I got muy gordo. Okay, yes, French Leo likes the notes too. That's good. Knowledge is free. Sarbajit misses homework. I'll give you some homework today. Don't worry, you'll get some homework. Mona, hi Josh. Hi everybody. Yes, hello Mona. How are you? Good to have you in class. Adam, good to see you too. All right. Okay, yeah, so chat's coming in nicely. Good job, guys. To answer Nora's question, yes, it's okay to have an accent, definitely. There are a few situations where you don't want an accent. For example, if you want to go work in a field where enunciation is very crucial. One example is aviation. We have an English for aviation class, English for aeronautics and aviation. And that trains students who want to study to become a pilot or to become a mechanic on airplanes or to work in the aviation industry. Even if you're going to be a flight attendant or someone who just works at an airport, then this class would be good for you. What is important there is if you are going to be a pilot, you need to speak over the radio a lot, right? The intercoms and the radio. You're wearing the headsets and speaking over intercoms, microphones, that kind of thing. You have to speak clearly there. So there is a situation where an accent would not really be beneficial to you in any way. It might stop you from getting a job. But if you're working in any other industry, even as a public speaker, as long as people can understand you, you can have an accent. I don't think you should lose your accent necessarily unless you have to. Then you can go into accent reduction. Although it does help people understand you more clearly. Here in Spokane, Washington, we have the most neutral accent of all of America. So we're fortunate that 3 of our 4 Smart Live teachers are from here, Spokane, Washington, and we have neutral accents. If you guys want to come and study here with us, here is our website to apply. Just put out an application. There's a grant available right now where you can get half of your tuition covered. You just have to send in a letter to study@usa-english.com, and I'm going to type that in the chat and write a letter explaining why you want to learn English in the USA. And if you do that, you could get half of your tuition covered. There's a limited number of awards being put out there. But if you write the letter and our review board likes your letter, you could get accepted and get a grant that would cover half your tuition to study in the USA. That would be awesome. So apply. Send that letter in if you're interested. And here is, Sanu Saha, I think is how I say that. Welcome, you're new here. Hi, good to have you. Sarbajit, yeah, you're 12. You have to be 16 years or older, unfortunately, to study here. So in a couple years, in just 4 years, Sarbajit, you can come study with us, okay? All right. You could probably come study in a high school or a junior high or high school here. There's, 12. That's 6th grade, 7th grade. There are programs where students can come over and study with American students in our high schools and in our junior high schools. So that would be cool for you. I guess that's grade school, huh? Anyway, hello from Morocco, beautiful life. Good to have you here. I'm the opposite of friendly today. Nora, why are you not friendly today? You're always friendly. You're always so friendly. Okay, I'm gonna get us started on our lesson so that we can get rocking and rolling. Here is the website that you can go to if you want to check out the Smrt Live classes. And I will post that for you at the top of our notes. My email is joshua.live@at smartenglish.com, so you can email me there. Today's class, and then here's our college website page so you can see. Today's class is going to be on listening, as I said last week, right? So listening. I'm going to take attendance for our Smrt Live students really quickly, and then we're going to move forward. As Sarbajit kind of said in the chat earlier, if you are a Smrt Live premium subscriber, we'll get homework for you corrected. We'll go over essay correction with you. We'll do personalized videos with you, depending on the week. It really depends on what the homework was for the week. This week we're doing listening practice, so you're going to have listening homework if you're a premium subscriber. The class that we teach is English for academic purposes, and that is available to you completely, the whole class, if you sign up to be a subscriber. I may be missing some questions here. I want to just check and make sure. Shanju Shah, Vivek? Are you correcting my pronunciation there? Hopefully. Josh, can you see my question, please? Fahir, no, I don't see your question. Let me go back and see. You're asking because you're afraid you can't do it in 6 months. Fahir, can I learn English in just 6 months? Like everything in English? No, I'm sorry, the answer to that question, Fahir. Can you learn everything in English in 6 months? No. I've been studying English my whole life, and I don't know everything. Everything is so total, right? Fahir, what language do you speak? Like, let's say you speak Spanish or French or Arabic or Japanese. I would venture to guess no one in the chat right now can say they know every part of their language. Do you know all the grammar? Do you know all the vocabulary? Probably not. But can you become fluent? Can you become proficient? Can you reach the goals that you set in 6 months? Yeah, totally. Absolutely. So if your goal is to prepare for academics for university in an English-speaking country, yes, we can get you ready in 6 months. It takes a lot of dedication, and it takes full-time intensive English classes, and it takes living in an immersion. So you'd have to live in the US, you'd have to live in Australia, you'd have to live in the UK, somewhere where they speak only English, but you can do it in 6 months, yeah. It depends on your ability you have right now, but if you're in this class and you're understanding me, I think definitely if you come here and live in the USA and Spokane with us for 6 months, we can get you going. So hopefully that answers your question, Fahir. And let me just make sure. I do confuse those two things, Sarbajit. It's because my other email address is USA-English. Okay, still don't know why Nora is opposite of friendly today, but we'll find out. Okay. Okay, Sarbajit, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Let's get started on the lesson today. So we have been studying global warming, and we went over the reading. Your reading homework, of course, was to read this out loud and to try to pronounce words like me. That's a nice segue into what we're doing today. So today we are going to look at this listening exercise. So this is 9-1B, global warming. If you're a premium subscriber, you have access to this lesson. If you're not, just send Zach an email. He should be able to hook you up. Zach at smartenglish.com. Let's talk about this vocabulary, though. So some of this vocabulary you may be familiar with. Some of it is probably new for you. Who can tell me in the chat what causation means? What does causation mean? I'm going to make a list here that says vocabulary, causation. Now, I don't want you to just look up in a dictionary and see, oh, causation, here's what it means. It's a noun. No. Nora's usually crazy, but today she's extra crazy. Okay. I'm excited for you in class today then, Nora. I like extra crazy students. Causation, what does it mean? What does it mean? Who can tell me what causation means? Not a dictionary definition. Have you, maybe just give me a scale. Give me a 1, 2, or a 3. Give me a 1 if it's a new word, no idea. Give me a 2 in the chat if it is, you've seen it. I've seen it before, but not sure of the meaning. Or give me a 3 if I know the word, I use it correctly. Okay? So just type in the chat there like 1, 2, or 3. So for me it's a 3. I know the word, I can use it correctly. Okay, we have some definitions here. The reason why something happens. Anthony says the effect of an action. You actually want the word effect there, Anthony. The effect of an action. So I'm going to write down all of our definitions and then I'm going to talk about the differences here. We have the effect of an action. And I'm not saying these are right. I'm just saying these are what we are submitting here. The reason why something happens, the cause of something. All right, you guys are doing great with the 1, 2, 3s. Okay, so I see, I'm just gonna read really quickly for anybody who's watching this later. We have 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1. Okay, so lots of 1s and 2s, which is good. That's what I expect, a couple 3s. So we can kind of make a guess in the root here and see that causation, we see the word cause minus the E, right? And the cause is, yes, the reason why something happens. Here, the effect of an action, not exactly. This is the action is the result, right? So I'm going to take that one out. The reason why something happens, that is a really good definition. I like that definition. This is a good definition too, the cause of something. But I try to avoid using the root word or a form of the root word in the definition. So that's the only reason I want to take that out. Let me put this back here. I'm going to keep this at the bottom so we can keep doing this little game here with the 1, 2s, and 3s. So causation, the reason why something happens, right? Let's look at another word here. Leads to, because it's due to. Due to, yes. Leads to talks about the result. That's a good note, Deary. Leads to is talking about the cause. Or excuse me, due to is talking about the cause. Leads to, well, whatever's said before is the cause. Like McDonald's leads to obesity. Saying McDonald's is the cause of obesity, it's the causation. So causation is, yeah, the first action that creates a second action or result. So other vocabulary. Compelling. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, or 3. Compelling. Who knows compelling? Who has compelling as a new word for them? Who's maybe seen it, but not really, isn't very comfortable using it or familiar using it? What do you guys think? Let me know. Nora has an interesting fact. Originally, the causation of being racist is parents. It's an opinion, unless there's data to support it. If you can show research that says, the parents were racist, so the children are racist. Although, generally speaking, I would be inclined to agree with you. I think that parents are the biggest influence on their children. And yeah, usually if parents are racist, children wind up becoming racist too, which is terrible. Because racism is such a stupid thing. It's such a terrible idea. So Nora, I like your example. Yeah, good job. Okay, so lots of 2s, lots of 1s. I'm not surprised that I don't see any 3s. This is a tough word, and it's an academic word, so it's not often used. It's relatively used in academic contexts or higher level diction and dialogue only. So compelling. If you're compelled to do something, it's kind of like you feel you must, right? A compelling argument is an argument that is hard to refute. So convincing, I see Lucas says. Yes. Raza says satisfying, not exactly, but that's the idea. It's a satisfying argument. I mean, it doesn't leave you asking a lot of questions. His speech compelled me to do work for him. Yeah, hopefully teachers inspire their students to do good work, but they also compel them to, right? They put them in a position where they feel they have to. So compelling is a strong, a feeling. So compelling is an adjective, right? If it's a present participle adjective. Describing a strong force to do something, right? It's still early. I need more coffee, I think. That's not a great definition. Let's look at the actual definition. See if Google has a good one here. Evoking interest, attention, admiration, not able to be refuted, inspiring. I like this. So convincing is here too. Overwhelming. I like overwhelming and convincing. I'm just going to put those two down as synonyms for now. Overwhelming and convincing. Okay, that's good. Compelling, overwhelming, and convincing. A compelling argument is a collocation. So a collocation using compelling is overwhelming an overwhelming argument is the same as a compelling compelling argument. And it's actually not exactly the same. A compelling argument. A compelling argument, a definition would be a strong argument that is difficult to refute. Okay? Refute is to go against, right? A compelling argument is an argument that is difficult to refute. Someone really can't say the opposite. A-R-G-U-M-E-N-T. Okay. So, words compelling to my slept brain. Vivek, you're trying there, but nope, that's a terrible sentence, my friend. Compelling, remember, is overwhelming and convincing. You're focusing on the overwhelming part. Let's focus more on the convincing. Convincing, solid in logic, right? Compelling, it makes sense. Something that makes sense is compelling. It's interesting, right? So think about, Vivek, think about interesting, think about convincing, and then try a sentence again. What about compulsory, Joshua? Shivan asks, what about compulsory? Compulsory is more like doing an action without thinking about it. Compulsive, compulsory. So when you wake up in the morning, if you reach for a glass of water that's always by your bed, that'd be compulsory. We can look at the dictionary definition of compulsory. Oops, if I could spell it correctly. So compulsory, required by law, obligation, involving or exercising compulsion. So it's sort of like required, but compulsory is more by force of law or thoughtless action. Compelling is like you think about it and it makes so much sense you feel you must do it. So that's the difference. Compelling, reason, argument, case. Yeah, those all are collocated. Kimiko. True, or that you must do something about it. Lucy had no compelling reason to go into town. Sure, that would be a good example. Yeah. Kimiko. That's a cool name too. Welcome. Hannah. Hey everyone. Hi Hannah. Hi. Okay. Yes, Alejandra, obligation. But obligation because it seems so interesting and so correct. Compelling is like a positive motivation, and compulsory is kind of like a negative motivation. That would be the difference there, I would say. Obligatory, mandatory, yes, but out of inspiration rather than obligation. Other words. I'm going to move through these a little quickly because we really only have about half an hour left, and I want to make sure we get into this. Dire. Dire. Fun word to say. I'm going to repeat all of these words for you too. I know Rosa likes to hear the pronunciation. I will practice that with you. So I'm going to repeat all these words in a little bit. Jenna. Jehan. I would like to know how to say your name, sir. Please let me know. It's your first time here. Welcome. Welcome to class. Borka's here. All right. And Fanny, hi. It's good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Oh, good. Shivan's still doing the 1, 2, 3 thing, right? French Leo says 2. Dire. Let's go 1, 2, 3, guys. So 1, if it's a new word, you have no idea. It's a new word to you. 2, you've seen it before, but you're not sure the meaning. And 3, you know the word and you can use it correctly. Jehan. Is that right? It's tough for English learners to spell out phonetically. Try it again, just the way the words sound. Okay, 1s, lots of 1s, couple 3s. So Sarbajit, and I'm going to call you out 3s. Vivek, Sarbajit, Shubham, Gupta. You say 3. And Abir says 3. Well, let's see it then. Let's use it in a sentence. Please, those students who wrote number 3, give me an example sentence. Give me an example sentence. I'm going to post them up here, and then we're going to talk about it, okay? So the word is dire. Dire. And I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. Dire is the word, okay? I'm also going to make this just a little bit bigger. Or I'll zoom in. That works too. Dire. So how do we use that in a sentence? It is dire quality. Vivek, no, sorry. It is dire quality? Not exactly. We probably wouldn't say that as native speakers. Dire quality. There is a collocation with dire. There's several collocations. Dire straits. Alejandra has one of them. Alejandra says dire straits. It's idiomatic, just about, in English. Dire quality, no. Vivek has 3 characters inside him. Do you have multiple personalities, Vivek? Let's see. If you don't like that work, be ready to face dire consequences. All right, Shubham. Gupta, thank you. That is great. If you don't do that work, be ready to face dire consequences. That is the first collocation I thought of. Dire consequences. For those of you that don't know, a collocation is a common usage of two or more words in English. So they're words that we pair together more often than not. So that is what a collocation is. Dire consequences. When people, if you went up to an average American, and you can test this if you know Americans, if you know native speakers, and you say, hey, can you use dire in a sentence? Can you use that word for me, please, as an example? They probably will say a sentence using dire consequences. I bet. I would bet money on it. Just wait for a dire moment. Vivek, that's better. Yeah. Your future will be dire and jeopardized if you keep playing truant and getting bad grades. Kimmy Cool, you're close. I'm going to correct your sentence here a little bit for you so we can get some practice in. Whoop. I'm going to change the view. Zoom out just a bit and go to full screen so that's out of my way. I'm going to help correct your sentence for everybody so we can use it as a learning moment. So we want to remember, capitalize our first letter. Your future will be dire and will be jeopardized if you keep playing truant. We wouldn't say playing truant. If you keep being truant and getting bad grades. So now your sentence is good. Your future will be dire and will be jeopardized if you keep being truant and getting bad grades. We could change it a few different ways too, but this makes it fundamentally okay. Use the word dire in a sentence. Yeah, Alejandro, try it. Let me know your results too, if they do use dire consequences. They might not. You can use it different ways, but that's a very common way. In fact, let's test it out. Let's see Google's definition, and let's see if they give an example sentence. And I bet, okay, extremely serious or urgent. Dire warnings, okay. Dire warnings of breathing in fumes. Dire consequences, see? First collocation listed of a situation or event. Let's see if we can find example sentences maybe from Oxford dictionaries. I'm looking to see, I don't see any dire consequences. Misuse of drugs can have dire consequences. There were dire warnings. So you see, it collocated before consequences a lot. If you use it elsewhere, will it be bad? Nora asks. Good question. No, but look at what it's coming before. Dire is an adjective, right? It's coming before the word consequence. Consequence has a negative meaning. Warning. Warning has a negative meaning. Something bad is about to happen. A consequence is a bad thing that did happen or will happen. So just know that dire is one of those words that you must use before something that's negative, right? Dire is a synonym of dire would be serious. Dire consequences, serious consequences, that's basically the same thing. But it just means serious, right? Like it's like the word very. Like it makes it more serious. It makes it more extreme. Consequence is already bad. Dire consequence is really bad. So like really and very. The town is in dire need of food. Okay, Kimmy Cool, I like your example. Dire need, right? Serious need. It's a bad thing if we don't get enough food, right? I like your example sentence. The town, capitalizing the first letter, the town is in a dire need of food. Yes. Good job, Kimmy Cool. Okay. Luca, can we say dire need of something? Yes, we can. Shivan, so it does not mean terrible or horrible. It means serious. Which is usually bad, right? Serious is usually bad. Well, no, we use serious for positive and negative. I got a serious gift, like a big gift. That's, not bad. But dire, yes, dire has the meaning of bad. We can't say, I got a dire gift. We would never say that. The lectures seem to be long, boring, and dire too. Not exactly, Sarbajit. And hopefully we're not talking about this lecture class, right? No, we wouldn't use it that way. And the reason we wouldn't use it that way is because a lecture being long and boring isn't serious in a bad way. Nothing bad is really going to happen other than boredom. Boredom isn't really a serious affliction. Dire need of medical attention, Lucas says. Yes. Rosa, you wait to face dire consequence. Vivek. Oh, you're always stoking the fire, aren't you? Terrible consequences, Fanny says. Yes, dire consequences, terrible. Let's keep moving, though. New word. Droughts. This is an easy one. I'm going to go really quick. Who knows it? 1, 2, or 3? 1, if it's new word. 2, if you kind of know it. 3, if you know it really well. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Tell me. Droughts. 3. Good. Okay, so droughts, Anthony says 1. Okay, no problem. Lots of us know it. Some of us don't know it. Droughts, it's a super easy word. A drought. It means there's no water. Time of no water. Okay? A location, a geographical location needs water. A drought, singular, is a time of no water. Now, we can use this metaphorically to talk about other things too, right? If your business does not have customers coming in, you could say, we're in a drought. We're in a drought. We're in a drought for my business. I'm being creative with the language, but it just means a time of no water. What is the opposite of drought? What is the antonym? What is the antonym of the word drought? What is the antonym? Can you tell me? And for those of you that don't know, synonyms we hear of. Synonyms are similar words. Antonym is opposite words. Steve has it. Steve Lynn, thank you. Flood. Flood is the correct answer. Quick fingers there, Steve. Good job. Flood. Okay. Nora had it too. Shivan says wet. Close. Flood. Zinab says flood. Good job. Drought region. Yeah, you can have a drought region where there's often a drought. Swimming in drought. Vivek, you're crazy. Swimming in drought? No, we wouldn't say swimming in drought. Although you might be a poet. I think maybe you are a poet at heart. I'd like to see some of your poetry. Okay, so that is drought. Going forward, impending. Impending is, I'm just going to explain a few of these to move us more quickly. Impending is something that's going to happen in the future. Let's see, rainy season, kind of, yeah. Okay, Melinda says he is a poet. Rosa says 3, impending. Rosa, can you use it in a sentence, please? Alejandra doesn't know it, Rosa does. Let's have Rosa teach us all what impending means. Impending. Just use it in a sentence if you can. All right, Vivek, we'll all follow your Instagram so we can see your poetry page. And I'm going to type a couple words here in the document while Rosa's coming up with her sentence. We have impending, we have massive, we have pertinent. So what do these words mean? Impending. Rosa says difficult to happen. Not difficult to happen. I want to look at example sentences here. Whoops. Let's just see what Google has. About to happen, something bad usually. Okay, so they do say it is something bad. I think of the collocation impending doom. Impending doom, it's also negative. So impending is something about to happen. I think that there's a better way to explain it though. Something about to happen. Maybe not. I felt like there was. Massive. Massive is a word that means really huge, big, large. Okay? Predict something bad. Pertinent. Impending is not to predict. It's just that, like, you know those movies where an asteroid is about to hit the Earth and, you know, destroy the whole Earth? That's always impending doom, impending destruction, impending apocalypse, right? It's when something bad will happen in the future. Like you can see it happening. Something is coming, yeah. Massive terms, magnificent, spectacular. Yeah, it could be. Massive can be good or bad. It just means a big amount. It's a quantifier. Pertinent. Pertinent is like important. Important for a purpose. Let's see what the dictionary here has. Pertinent. Relevant, applicable to a particular matter. So yeah, pertinent for a purpose, for a specific purpose. So this class is pertinent to academic English. Imminent, impending, yes, those are synonyms, Alejandra. Something difficult to happen. Not exactly difficult, impending. We can think of it as difficulty. You may have used it that way, Rosa, because doom or destruction can be just difficulty. I have this impending essay to write. It means that my feeling about the essay is negative. I feel like it's a big problem in my life. You can say it creatively like that. I'm pertinent for the class. Aw, Aaron, thanks. I appreciate that. Relevant, yes, Shivan. Yes. Impending fated. Mona, impending fate would be maybe a bad fate, possibly. Poll. Poll is like a survey. A poll is like a survey. We are doing polls in class right now, like our 1, 2, 3 survey or poll, right? I'm asking you, a big group of people, who knows this word? Say 1, 2, or 3. That is a poll. That's a survey. So it's me asking for results from an audience. Pretty easy. Presupposes. Presupposes. We kind of know supposes. You see this first word here, right? Supposes. Presupposes is, this is a difficult word to describe. Presupposes. What this book presupposes is maybe, how could I use this in an example that would make sense? When we presuppose something, we are putting a hypothesis before an understood event. And I'm going to go again to the dictionary here because I cannot think of a good example sentence. An action or process or argument required as a precondition or possibility of coherence. Okay, so what's an example? Your argument presupposes that it does not matter who is in power. Okay, this presupposes the existence of a policy-making group. So it is a precondition. So it's something that you have to assume to be true for a later thing to be true. So we learned this in logic in mathematics class. To have a fundamental axiom that affects a secondary result, right? So your attendance in this class presupposes you are at a level where you can work on your academic English. Does that help, hopefully, in my explanation? Academic words are sometimes difficult to describe, so hopefully I am helping. And we can discuss in greater detail later, but we got to get to the listening exercise. So skeptics. A skeptic is someone who doesn't believe something to be true 100%. So some people believe aliens exist, but probably more people are skeptics. They think, maybe not, I don't know. Semantics. Semantics means meaning within a sentence. So semantics is the meaning of a sentence. People will commonly use this as a idiomatic phrase. You're arguing semantics, meaning you are arguing something frivolous. But truly, the definition kind of counters that, and most Americans use the word incorrectly, or that phrase incorrectly. Oh, you're just arguing semantics. Yeah, I'm arguing meaning. I'm arguing the meaning of a sentence, right? So it's a linguistic term too. Logic concerned with meaning. The meaning of a word, phrase, sentence, semantics. So such quibbling over semantics may seem petty stuff. Even the example here, it says you're arguing over the meaning of a word. Yeah, but there is a reason to argue over the meaning of words, right? Semantics are important. So that's what semantics means. Suppress is to like reduce in magnitude. So you might use dark curtains to suppress the light to sleep better. That might be an example. And unjustly is without justice. Okay, so really quickly, I'm going to read through the pronunciation of these words, and then we're going to go to the exercise and do the listening. Causation, compelling. I'll read them twice, I guess. Causation, compelling, dire, droughts, impending, massive, pertinent, pull, presupposes, skeptics, semantics, suppress, unjustly. Okay, so I've tried to pronounce those words very clearly. I tried to articulate them. So I did so that we can go to our listening. So we are going to listen to the first part of a larger paragraph. This is just an introduction, and then we're going to listen to the full piece, which is 10 minutes long. If you are a premium subscriber, now would be the time to open the exercise. This is going to be your homework. You get to put these words into your own list if you're a premium subscriber of I don't know what the word means, I see it and I have a basic idea, sometimes I use the word but I'm not sure if I'm using it right, and I use it, I can give its definition, I know it 100%. So don't know it over here, I know it completely over here, and make your own lists, okay? And then use those lists to study and practice. The second part for premium subscribers, for each of the reading vocabulary words given, write its form and an appropriate synonym based on the context. So write the form of the usage and the synonym. So there's that. And then it says pre-listening. It says everyone in your group, but you can do this individually too, answer these questions. And I know this says pre-listening, but we're going to move a little bit forward here. You can always watch the video again, pause it, and do the pre-listening, even though you'll have some understanding of what it's about. And then reading. So you're going to go over the general thesis and the thesis statement, general thesis and statement. This is supposed to say general statement. I'll fix that. That's strange. Thesis statement, general thesis and thesis statement. I'll fix that. Now listen to the complete listening passage and you'll take notes on it. So here's where your notes will go. So you can do this part right now if you want. and then your post-listening. So you're going to break it down into how they organized their structure. So lots of homework. Sarbajit was asking, saying, hey, I want homework. Well, you get it this week, let me tell you. Lots of homework to do, lots of homework to work on. So let's give this a listen, the introduction, and then we will chat about it really quick, and then I will play the lighter part, the full part. So here is the introduction for you.
There are some very compelling arguments made in favor of the position that global warming is directly caused and worsened due to human activity. There's a great deal of agreement among the scientific community that this is what is actually happening, and yet there are those, some very well-respected scientists themselves, who disagree with this and see other non-human factors as being the cause. First, we should look at where there is agreement and clear up the problem of using terms like man-made global warming, also known as anthropogenic global warming. That's anthropogenic, A-N-T-H-R-O, which refers to people, as in the study of anthropology. Then P-O-G-E-N-I-C, think Genesis, meaning the beginning of something. And it refers to an event that is caused by humans. After that, we'll outline the arguments used by those who disagree with the commonly held belief about global warming, and you can use what we've already gone over to discuss where you stand on this debate later.
Okay, so back to this. That was the introduction. Good example sentences, and I know you're kidding around, Vivek, but no violence, okay? Peace, peace. The world needs more peace. All right, so a lot of you say, thank you for the amazing lesson. Well, it's not quite over. I wanted to discuss about this. If you haven't taken our class long enough to get the note-taking exercises and all that wonderful stuff, then I would suggest to go back, look at some of those classes, and make notes on our strategies. So reading strategy, listening strategy, note-taking strategy. And we can talk about it a little bit more as we go forward, and we will. But for those of you that do remember, Rosa, Vivek, I think even Sarbajit, you may have caught some of those lessons. Alejandra, possibly. She wrote down anthropogenic. Yes! Good job, Alejandra. Whenever a speaker, a lecturer, a teacher spells out a word like that for you, where he said anthropogenic, that is A-N-T-H-R-O. He started to spell the word. That means you should be writing it down. If a teacher takes the time, or a lecturer, or a professor, instructor, doctor, takes the time to spell out a word for you, you need to write it down. It's important. If they give you specific numbers, percentages, times, dates, those are also worth writing down probably. So keep that in mind. It was really tough. I did study this a little bit in anthropology, Rosa, and that's very sweet of you to remember that I studied anthropology. Yes, we studied this, and our professors would do the exact same thing. In class, they would say, oh, okay, this is pre-classic period from this time to this time. And they would tell us, and we would write it down because it's important. So, yes, it was tough. What I'd like you to do is listen to this. Listen to it as many times as you need to. And practice that listening. Write down the notes. See if you can complete the exercise here. If you have questions, you can send me an email or reach out to me on Facebook chat. That's fine. But try to do this and try every single question, okay? Please do not leave something blank. The saddest thing is when I see a student leave something blank. I'm like, you didn't even try. Try. Even if you just write a pretty story in there. Write something down, okay? Practice your English. So I'm going to leave you with this last listening. It's 10 minutes long, so that it will be part of the video here, and you can do the exercise if you're a premium subscriber. Actually, I don't even know if we're going to get through the whole listening. No, we're almost out of time, but I will let this play a little bit, and then that will be the end of our lesson. So here's a little bit more of the listening. If you're not a premium subscriber, sign up now and you can have access to the whole listening. And you just do that by going to smrtenglish.com/live/live. I'll put that in the chat one more time. And it, of course, is in our notes as well, right here at the top. Way up there, smartenglish.com/live/live, right there. So go ahead and open up your lovely ears and be ready for some listening here that will apply to your homework. And then I'll jump on one more time and say goodbye and wish you all a great week, okay? So here's just a little bit more of the listening.
There are some very compelling arguments made in favor of the position that global warming is directly caused and worsened due to human activity. There's a great deal of agreement among the scientific community that this is what is actually happening, and yet there are those, some very well-respected scientists themselves, who disagree with this and see other non-human factors as being the cause. First, we should look at where there is agreement and clear up the problem of using terms like man-made global warming, also known as anthropogenic global warming. That's anthropogenic, A-N-T-H-R-O, which refers to people, as in the study of anthropology. Then P-O-G-E-N-I-C, think Genesis, meaning the beginning of something. And it refers to an event that is caused by humans. After that, we'll outline the arguments used by those who disagree with the commonly held belief about global warming, and you can use what we've already gone over to discuss where you stand on this debate later. The world is getting warmer. Even the staunchest skeptics cannot deny that, and the evidence shows that global temperatures are rising regardless of the cause. So there is some common ground there. Also, not in doubt is the fact that the sun is a major contributor to global climate change. However, whether or not it affects climate immediately or over time may be in dispute. At least on these issues, we don't have to worry about arguments too much. But before we go any further into the pertinent, important arguments, we have to see what each side means by man-made. In a 2009 poll, many respected scientists were asked, quote, "Do you think human activity is a significant contributing factor in changing mean global temperatures?" However, one has to take pause and consider the meaning of the question before answering it. What does significant mean? Is there a number that can be attributed to significant? And does it mean the majority of global warming is people's fault?
Okay, everybody. So, as you probably noticed there, they're using a lot of the techniques that we've talked about in this lecture, in this listening. A lot of the note-taking strategy can apply here. And you hear rhetorical questions, right? That's good strategy. So, as a preview for next week, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be going into presentation skills. So it's going to bring in a lot of the skills that we've talked about. Note-taking skills, outlining. We create presentations in the same way that we create essays. So setting up our outline, organizing our information, even the same research that we do when it comes to essays. So citing our sources, we're still going to do that. And then we're going to incorporate some new skills, speaking skills, public speaking and presentation skills, strategy. It's going to go over at least 4 classes. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you finish your homework because we're reaching a kind of natural breaking point where we did reading strategies and skills, listening strategies and skills. and now we're going to do a break, and next week we're going to start kind of a new topic that's going to bring in a bunch of that together, which is going to be presentation skills. Okay? So, we had a couple questions. Can I join and become a premium subscriber just for the free month? Yeah, absolutely. You can sign up for free for a month, and then if you want to cancel after that, no problem. It's easy. And go back to doing the free class. We hope you stay, though. I want you to stay, of course. That way I can keep sending you homework, correcting your homework, making you videos, hopefully making you laugh once in a while with my goofy jokes and stuff. You guys are always so nice and kind. That handsome teacher nickname I'm still not going to get rid of, and it's not even true, guys. Come on. The other teachers are so much more handsome than me, but you guys are very sweet, and thank you for saying so. And lots of fun comments. I wish I could stay with you guys all day, but I do have to go and run the college here in Spokane. So have a wonderful day. And as always, as I always end or try to end these, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Stay in touch and make sure you get your homework to me as soon as possible. Tune in next week, same time, at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is when we have this class here. So show up, hang out, tell your friends. Let's see how many students we can actually get in this chat. I think we've been up to like 55 or 60. Let's get that up to like 100. That would be awesome. Tell your friends. Bring a friend next time. Have them sign in next to you. You guys can both watch. One of you can man the chat. The other can watch the video. That would be awesome. So have an excellent week. I miss you guys when I'm not around, but reach me on Facebook. Say hi. Say what's up. Talk to each other. Practice English. And we'll see you next week, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want the full experience of being a student in a Smrt Live class with things like homework and teacher feedback, follow the link and become a premium subscriber. Also, if you want to see more videos from this class, check out our playlist.